All right, let's just jump in.
Go.
Here's my topic for today, and it's pretty much opposite of, So my mom always used to say, when you're buying something, buy the best thing that you can afford, right? And hanging out with Joe and Mike, they're always like, dude, man, you spend a lot of money, man. Maybe you should scale it back a little bit. Scale it back, right? Yeah, I know. Aaron, you took my job. Awesome. Yes, I'll break into some gummy bears soon, and I got an egg roll and all kinds of weird stuff.
IEMs too. He has IEMs now, right?
Oh yeah, he does.
Right.
That's right.
Gonna get my rights out of the way.
Is that right, Joe?
Is that right?
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. There's a little bit of a delay, and so I'm always confirming what's the delay? How much I'm checking. If it's in person, I don't say, hey, what's up, right? I'm trying.
Yeah. You're saying
It's more of an online, a Zoom thing. I blame the pandemic.
Over.
Over. Roger.
Over.
There.
That's right.
10-4. Okay.
So I was, so I had a wedding on Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Tristan. It's the Triceratops, shirt. Anyway, and I love the first wedding of the season because it gives me a few opportunities. One, to have fun. Second is I get to see any kind of glaring weaknesses in my setup, right? Sure. Now, I could say, like, at the very first, screw Yamaha. But I think screw Denon DJ is probably the problem is with the Denon DJ equipment, right? If I have the Big Daddy equipment, like the big mixer that costs like $1,200, and I have the portable $1,600 thing, the portable one, the big difference is the portable one and the Big Daddy setup costs more. But wireless microphones work with the Big Daddy setup. Wireless microphones don't work with the travel setups, the ones that actually need the wireless microphones. Right. This is pretty ass backwards, right? Pioneer
Wrong.
DJ systems also. So what I have to do is, I'm the MC, there's speeches, all this stuff. So I need wireless microphones. So what I needed to do is get a small sub mixer, right? Something small, 4-channel, 3-channel. So I got the XLR going out from the DJ thing into channel 1 and 2, and then from my wireless microphone system going out into that mixer, and then boom, 2 XLRs to the PAs, right? Everything was fine. I set it up. It arrived. I got a Yamaha one, because I wanted to save $100. Normally, I would go with a Mackie mixer, right?
Okay.
So Yamaha instead of Mackie to save $100.
Correct. When Yamaha instead of Mackie, I have a Mackie, but it's 12 channels, so it's like this wide, right? I have a 16-channel Tascam over here. Huge. I need something small, compact on my desk because I got laptop, I got the wireless receiver, I got the DJ control. Everything needs to be like small. So halfway through dinner, I walk outside because I put a speaker outside as well. So I got 3 PAs and all kinds of other stuff. I go outside and there's no music outside. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, did somebody unplug my speaker? I'm like, no, speaker's plugged in. There's power going to it. Okay, I'm checking my patch line, I'm checking my power lines. Oh, everything looks good. I go into, so that outside speaker is daisy chained off the left speaker that's on the inside. Left speaker on the inside, also not working. What's going on? Power's on. Check my cables. Looking around, I went back to the back of my desk and I was just like, what could it be? What could it be? And then I looked at the mixer and I was like, maybe you. And so what I ended up finding out is the whole, either the left output died or the left input died. And so I was just like, oh, let me try this. Let me just get the mixer out of the way. I'll unplug the left input, unplug the left output. Boom, plug them in together, because they're XLR, so they can easily plug in together. Boom, I'm getting sound out that. So the whole entire left side died halfway through the first gig. Right. I got it on Wednesday. I tested it out Wednesday night, and then Friday, it shits the bed. And so now with the wedding, when they're paying for a videographer, I got to text you, Mike, you got to get this rig for Cedia, dude. This guy had this thing all on his back, and it was like, hey,
man, I've seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah, like a stabilizer type of thing for the camera.
Like he had a red 5K camera, and then the other guy doing the B-roll had what is it called, an A1 or an Alpha 1, and it was some crazy stuff. But they charge like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, right?
Yeah.
And so they also tap into the audio because of the speeches and all this other stuff.
Sure.
So there was a point, like I got things figured out, and then there was a point where we had to do speeches, and then he could hear me on his headphones, but the crowd couldn't hear me. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Okay, boom, 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 done. Hello, test. Oh, awesome. So
good.
which is also why I charged $3,000, because when things shit the bed,
You have backups.
you need to know what to do to make sure,
sure.
you know, whatever needs to happen is happening, right? So
You can troubleshoot.
Right.
exactly, like, and not like troubleshoot take half an hour to troubleshoot,
On the fly, fix it. Let's
take
keep
half a
going.
minute.
Better be quick. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So so basically, I tried to save $100 by buying this Yamaha instead of the Mackie, and it backfired on me. And it, you know, it goes back to like my mom saying, if you're going to buy something, buy the best thing that you can, because chances are you're going to end up buying like 5 of the cheap ones as opposed to one of the good ones. So I ordered, Saturday comes around, I called up Downs. I'm like, hey man, I need to return this stupid Yamaha mixer. It shit the bed last night at a gig, and I've had it for 2 days. And he's like, okay, what happened? And I told him what happened. He's like, oh, well, that sucks. And I'm like, thanks. Sign me up with that Mackie, please.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, it was crazy. And I tried to be like Joe and Mike. I tried to save some money. Like, do I really need to spend this extra $100? I know Joe and Mike would be like,
A room sounding like a canyon. Yes.
You know?
Yes. This is the untreated room.
That's right.
Yes.
But it looks cool.
It looks cool.
Your
Who
wall
cares?
looked like a canyon from like
It's probably causing
5
all the
miles
issues.
Anyway, so the moral of the story is pay that extra dough. Sometimes it is just worth it to not have the headache of whatever could happen. And especially in a like high stress environment, like me having to do with all the balls in the air for this wedding.
You can't really afford to have like stuff not work properly. And
right.
So, you know, it's kind of crucial for you. You know, when you've got something that's non-essential, maybe you can cut some corners. Now, I'm one of those guys. I typically don't buy the cheapest, but I don't like buying the most expensive. So I'm kind of like right in the middle. So yeah, that doesn't always work out either.
Well, I mean, I could have gotten bare bones cheap and gotten a Behringer for $50, right? I spent the extra 50 to get the Yamaha because I thought that would be a nice middle ground.
I probably would have done the same thing then.
Yeah.
You know, it's when it comes, so I don't try to buy the cheapest, you know, we joke around, but the truth is I try to find the right tool for the job. So if it's critical and you're getting paid and it's a wedding situation, you're going to get, you should get the most reliable one.
Yeah. Pony up.
Now, if there's the most reliable one, and then there's one that's a little bit extra because it has gold on it and something, I'm like, okay, forget that. That's not necessary because it looks a little bit shinier, you know. So it's the right tool for the job, I think, is what's important, not necessarily how much. So when I spend, it's not so much about which one's the most expensive or the least expensive. It's which one's the best.
Yeah.
Regardless of the price, which one is the best for me? And so now when you have 2 of them that are about the same, they do the same things, and one's more expensive, one's less expensive, and the reliability and everything's the same,
equal. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
now you're wondering, what are you paying for? Am I paying
for the name?
Right.
Because if it's just the name, then I don't care. I don't care what other people think about.
Right.
You know, so and so.
Who has AOL Messenger?
It's this.
It's not me.
What is this?
What?
Let me quit this iMessage.
Croissant says it best here, but if
He always says it best. He needs to be on here actually, because Michael recommended that we have
some of the patrons on here.
Our patrons on,
I think it'd be fun.
I nominate Croissant because he's always has good sayings.
Yeah,
So
we should have you on next week.
Croissant, Paul, if you're going to be available next week, man, hit us up.
Yeah.
Be glad to.
So he says, if you have multiple hobbies, you still need to weigh what's the most effective or important to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. And Angela agrees as well.
I disagree. I think that's nonsense.
You're the tool for the job.
says the guy who spent 100 G's on a.
I know it.
Hold on now. Hold on now. We're getting personal now.
And I've got a $24 Odyssey mic.
All right. Well, I'll see y'all later.
Mike, what you were saying is like, earlier, I'm actually waiting, and this is why I charge so much. I'm waiting for something to mess up, and because I've got 3 backups of everything.
Right.
You should see how many XLR cables I have. I've got six 10-foot, 2 5-foot, 4 15-foot, 2 30-foots, 2 50-foots, and a 100-foot.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Generator if I need it. And you know what's funny is like I DJ'd a friend's daughter's wedding, right? So I gave him a little discount or whatever. It was at the end of the year, like late October. And all throughout summer, I've been getting audio dropouts with my laptop and my controller. This is before I switched to the Denon setup. And during cocktail hour, it's playing, and all of a sudden I hear the music stop for 3 seconds, play for 5 seconds, stop for 10 seconds, play for 20 seconds, stop for I'm like, what is going on? So I ran everything off my iPad, right, which just has a song. It's not going to fail. It's iPad's piped in, dongle to 3.5 millimeter to RCA coming in on channel 4. And during their couple's first dance, I decided, okay, let me just try the laptop and controller system. And I had a live backup ready to go. And it was halfway through the couple's dancing, halfway through the song, I see a stutter on the screen, and I just crossfaded it over. They didn't know what happened, but the music stopped on the computer. And so during dinner for a whole hour, I'm like, okay, how am I going to DJ the party when this DJ software is not working? So I literally downloaded some random free DJ software online, and in that hour, I figured out how to use it.
That's funny.
And while they were having a blast, I'm freaking out, fully composed, obviously.
Yeah.
Stressing
on the inside.
Exactly. And I rocked that party, and they had no idea. And I actually just told my buddy, like, on a Memorial weekend, because he hired me for the for the restaurant gig that weekend. So he's like, really? And his whole family was there. I'm like, yeah, you guys were having fun. I was freaking out this whole time. And they're like, we had no idea. And I was like, yeah.
Well, that's right, because I'm good.
That's right. I'm a pro.
To counter what you're saying, though, just because you pay the most or buy the best doesn't always guarantee that it works perfectly either.
True.
There's expensive stuff. You got the best thing, and sometimes it just messes up too.
Yeah.
So
I totally couldn't understand that this Yamaha that I got was just a fluke. Like, it could totally just been a defective unit. But now I don't want to risk it.
You don't want to give it a try
again. I think what you're saying is if you could pay a little bit more and not have that possibility, or lessen the possibility that it's going to mess up, pay the extra. It's worth the $100.
Paying for peace of
and
mind.
like, what's funny is, like, I used to roll around with a $2,000 controller. The thing was huge, and I also had an $80 one in my bag that was this big. That in case that thing breaks, the $80 one, I can rock a party with it. It won't be the best, but I could still do it. And that just, it's one of those things. Anyway, that was my story. That was my topic for today. Pay the extra dough, because sometimes, that might just be the best way to go about it.